Yo guys, welcome back to another new video reaction guys. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are guys. And I want to use this opportunity to thank each and every single one of you that be supporting this channel guys. Thank you very much for your support. I appreciate all the effort a lot, man. And guys, if you know that you are new to this channel, try as much as possible to subscribe, like and comment down below so you'll be able to miss anything that I'll be doing each and every single day, and I will know that you specifically like this channel. And guys, try to follow me on my Instagram. As you can see, the name is up and the link is still down below. Guys, today is all about Squid Game Hell episode 2. Wow, let's jump into it and then it goes, man. And you all know how it is. Okay. And guys, try as much as possible to comment down below and tell me what you think about this video, and still comment down below and tell me which one will I do. Should I continue doing it, or should I break and find something else to do? Okay.
잘못했어요. 제발 살려주세요. 돈은 어떻게든 갚을게요. 제발 살려주세요. 저도 그만하고 싶어요. 제발 살려주세요. In the words of Taylor the Fiend, goodness gracious me, why are these women crying? Well, in episode 1, a lot of desperate people that were under financial strain found out that they were sort of tricked into playing a game of life and death, of literal life and death, where they had to fight for survival by playing a series of childhood games. They literally thought it was all fun and games until someone got killed. Now in episode 2, everyone is crying, realizing that they could very well die, and they basically try every trick under the book to convince the game runners to let them go. And then they announce the prize money, which is a lot of money. Seeing the money in person lets them know that this is serious. With each round, money is accumulated to the prize money that's already there. The player dudes with the PlayStation button faces tell them that if you give up now, then 25.5 million will be sent to the late players. The ones that died, their families are going to get that money. I mean, one of the rules was that they weren't allowed to stop playing, but I guess there's some kind of voting in order. So the player guys tell them that, look, if you really want to leave, we won't kill you, but you're gonna have to vote for it. They set out 2 buttons in front. One is a green button with a circle, and one is a red button with an X. Our main character, Gi-hun, goes up, and he's the first one that votes no. He wants out of here. But the very next person chooses yes. Her argument, which I understand, and most of them that do choose, is that what do they have to go back to? At least they die sort of quickly in this game. If they go back home, they're just going to be suffering and tortured and in the same position they were before. Might as well keep going for the chance to become wealthy. So the other players try to convince the others that no, this isn't the way to go. Our old man, he goes up and he is the last deciding vote. Gi-hun and all the others that want to get out of here are scared out of their minds, and I cannot blame them. I mean, a lot of this stuff is up to chance, and you don't know what the other games are going to be to prepare for them. You're literally going in blind with each of these games. So, the old man with that tumor growing in his head decides to choose no. People are happy, they are dropped almost naked out in the cold, but the game players, or the people who run the game, are convinced that they're going to come back. Apparently, when people are desperate enough, they will make their own choice, but the people have to want to play the game, or at least they have to make it of their own decision to play the game. I think this is part of the game too, because what they don't realize is that the biggest game that's being played here is a mind game. Gi-hun just happens to be put out on the street with the girl who stole his money from before. She reluctantly cuts him loose, but leaves his feet tied so he can't come after her. The Pakistani guy is released with the business genius over here. He pays for him to get a charger, to which the humble guy is very, very grateful. You can tell he's a kind soul, and he becomes one of my favorite characters, which is bad, because if anything happens to him, I'm gonna be so upset. He speaks his own native language, probably to his family, to let them know that he's okay. But he was so broke that he couldn't even afford food, and the business genius here, smoking, gave him that money. He also calls him a cab, since it's too far to walk back home. Understandably, Gi-hun goes to the police and tells them and describes his game in detail. Honestly, I gotta give it to the police. Even though it sounded crazy when he was talking about it, they still were willing to listen. They repeated everything that he said, and even went as far as to call the number that was on the back of the card. All they got though was a personal number for some woman, who probably was a front for the business, or the business just forwarded it to that number. I'm guessing that this is not the first time that they've played these games, so of course they're gonna have fail-safes in place in case people are released when they vote to get out. Business genius guy is too ashamed to go to his mom and tell her that he's been in debt up to his eyeballs, getting in with the wrong people. Meanwhile, the mother, who works at the shop that also knows Gi-hun, on the left, always brags about her son. He has been speaking with her on the phone
telling her lies or just omitting to tell her that, yeah, he's not in college anymore. He actually is in trouble for embezzling money, but she's still telling everyone how much of a catch her son is, and I could just imagine the shame that would fall on her head if she finds out the truth, which is part of the reason why Business Genius here does not want to go and confront his mother. She doesn't even know that he's in Korea. Apparently, he's supposed to be in the States. He is a gambler, and this guy's a business genius that went to law school or business school or whatever, and he is in the same position as Gian.
Big stick. That is not a stick. Oh my god. That's not a stick at all. Holy sh**.
Upon coming home, Gian gets a message that his mother had been in the hospital. Turns out she had diabetes. Unfortunately, Gian had so much compulsory bad habits that he used up all the money that he could have used to help his mother in gambling. The mother doesn't even want to stay in the hospital because it is true, her argument is,
Guys, one thing that I understand about this game is I've watched all the episode and it was amazing and dope and fantastic, I swear to God. And one thing that I understand about this game, and I think this type of game will be, I think there will be this type of game in the real life. Like, so many people are playing this type of game. I swear to God, so many people are playing this type of game and nobody they know about it. And at the end of this episode, the police, the detective that was searching for his brother, and he never knew that his brother is among of those people. Then his brother doesn't want him to live there without any excuse. Then he have to kill his own blood brother to save their whole life. Wow, let's go guys, this is dope.
that the hospital bills are very expensive. And you know, x-rays cost like $20,000 if you don't have insurance. But why don't people just get insurance? An average of $456 for one freaking person. For some people, that's a lot of money. So knowing that his mom is suffering, he's telling her that he'll get all the money she needs. This is the motivation he needs to get back into the game. This time, knowing what's at stake. This is where we meet this police officer. He heads over to his brother because he hasn't seen his brother in a very long time. Getting off the phone with his mother, he heads to his brother's apartment. The landlady at his brother's place says that he hasn't been here in a while and his rent is due. He's not picking up his phone, and it seems as though in the last month this guy has been missing. I feel so horrible because even his poor little fish are dead. They had no food and they literally starved to death in a glass bowl. Like, I can't imagine how they must have felt. Like, they're there and they know every time they see their human, that means they're gonna get food. And then he never comes back, and every day they're just waiting to see if he'll feed them and drop those little flaky flake things that make their bellies fat into the water. And then he just never comes back and they have no way of feeding themselves or getting out. Dude, it's freaking morbid. Anyway, the detective sees that his brother had received some kind of gift in this box. He's like, what the frick is this? When he picks it up and opens it, it's one of those cards. The PlayStation button cards, minus the X. And it's just like the one he saw at the station. He had seen Gian, our main character, arguing and telling this guy to call the number in the back of his card. And everyone just thought he was crazy. And then this detective goes to his brother, his missing brother's apartment, and sees the same card with a similar number on the back. His detective spidey tingly senses are going off times 1,000. The episode starts to follow all of the main characters. The pickpocket girl with her brother who is in the orphanage. Their mother is somewhere in North Korea and the family's just separated. And she needs money to be able to take care of her brother. Her brother loves her very much. And right now, what is a definite is that they are the only family that they have, that they know of. I think they showcase this so we can see that the characters are reminded of how horrible their situation is. Like, there is no chance of them getting out of the financial strain because they're going to keep on doing their bad habits just to get the money to get out of it. But in the game, they have a chance, even though the stakes are death. We find out that some of them are in the situation they're in because they trusted the wrong people or just had a straight...
Guys, one thing that I know about this game is that all the players that were playing this game, they are all debtor. Like, they are all debtor. They owe a lot of money to someone. Like, just in example now, and you will go straight and help someone and just tell them that they have already know everything about you. You owe a bank like almost 2 million or 50 million or 900 million. Then you can't get out of that situation, they have to come straight to you and give you the opportunity to play the game. And if you are willing to do it, it's up to you. That was when the game will start. Wow, this is dope.
Of bad luck. Business guy wants to redeem himself in his mother's eyes, even though she doesn't know what's going on. His mother is on the phone with him all the time, thinking he's in the US, not knowing all the trouble that he's in financially. She even goes as much to brag to this woman with the umbrella. She is so adorable. Just look at how her face lights up when she's talking about her little prodigy. It's an Asian culture thing. So could you imagine the horror that this mom goes through after she's bragging, or in the middle of bragging about how awesome her son is, when two cops show up asking where her son is, and her telling them, well, he's on business in the United States. Actually, it's that he had graduated. Sorry, I think I messed up. He graduated from business school, and he's like the super genius. The mother finds out the most awful way possible. Yeah, right in front of the woman she was just bragging to, that your son has a warrant out for his arrest. He's not so nice as you think he is. See, he did a whole bunch of financial crimes, like embezzlement, forgery, and all that stuff. Yeah, dude, just tell us when he's here. Like, I know the woman in the back is like, that's what you get. After things come to a head, and the characters realize that they're in a worse situation than they were in that freaking game, as if by magic, cards start showing up at their place of residence. These people are under surveillance. I mean, that's pretty much clear when they were in the game. People had been following them and recording them, how desperate they were. They latch on to people like this, because these people will be motivated enough to play that sick game out of desperation, despite being shown the very real possibility of them dying. They let them know, like, if you want to come back, that option is still there. As Gian is contemplating this, guess who shows up to go see him? Our main character, Gian's friend, the old man. What are the odds? Even the gangster guy is in one of the worst situations, because he decided to steal from his boss. No matter what mafia you're in, that's not a good idea. I don't know why this guy reminds me of Michael Jackson so much, he just does. Look at us. We're all smiling and we're like so happy. Gian goes to beg his wife for some money because his mom is sick. He is trying every avenue he can so he does not have to go back into that game. His ex-wife has no respect for him, and he's kind of put himself in that situation where he's no longer a reliable and dependable dad. His daughter just happens to walk in with her stepdad and the other boy. Gian had asked his ex-wife if she could ask her husband for some money. This, unfortunately, is what desperation looks like. This is desperation at its core, because to ask your ex-wife's husband for some money is just like a next level of desperation that is honestly freaking sad. As Gian is walking away, the stepdad comes out. He offers him money and he's like, here you go, you need the money. And Gian's like, man, you saved my freaking life, thank you so much. I know this is hard on you, but he gets cut off as the stepdad tells him, and I can understand where he's coming from. So here's the thing about me giving you this money. There's just like this one condition. You can't ever see this family ever again. At least,
Guys, like, on the other hand, the second thing that I notice about this game is every one of those players, I think they have some microchips on their head or forehead. I don't understand. That is the reason they were able to record and notice every track, everything that they were doing. Then they know that those people are desperate to go through the same way, to go through the game, like to continue the game. That was the reason they keep sending another chance. So if they are interested, well, I got you.
he still has a little bit of pride left. Where he's like, you think I'm gonna take this money and you tell me to stop seeing my daughter? But in the stepdad's defense, I mean, he is taking care of your kids, so, like, you know, because you can't. Not really his fault. One of those very weird situations, because, like, how are you gonna ask a dad to stop seeing his kid, but then he's not taking care of the kid? And I guess the stepdad probably figures that Guillaume's probably a very bad influence on his daughter. I mean, the fact that he's even willing to take care of your kid in the first place is very good on him. Most sensible guys don't want to go and take somebody else's kid up in their responsibility. When Guillaume sadly returns home, the detective is there waiting for him at his residence. He tells him he's a cop, and he asks him about the card. And Guillaume's like, what are you talking? I don't know what you're talking about. Just leave me alone. And this, of course, makes the cop really interested, because he's like, this is the guy that came in freaking out, telling everybody about this thing, and now he's telling the cop, no, I don't know what you're talking about.
사람들을 죽였다고. 아, 그거 제가 그냥 지어낸 얘기입니다. 술 먹고 심심해서 그냥 지어낸 거예요.
Alright, dude, like, come on. Cut the shit. They sent that card to my brother, and he went missing a few days ago. I know something's up. You're gonna tell me right now.
Boy, if you don't...
The end of the episode cuts to a few of the main characters all going into the vans that previously picked them up in the first place. They have made their decision despite the risk of death to go back into the games. They all go in willingly. They get gassed and go to sleep, and guess who follows them? The detective. He definitely smells blood in the water. And the plot twist, our pickpocket girl is actually awake. Look, I don't care what kind of material you're wearing, you're gonna get gassed. Unless you can hold your breath for a whole minute, there is no way that you would not fall asleep, that it wouldn't go through your clothes. You're trying to say that fabric will stop the gas from getting through there? But the air molecules are so freaking fat, they might not be able to get through. Miss me with that bullshit. Anyway, the episode ends there, and they are back in the games. This show is great, and what's really interesting is that this is the first show I've seen where people go into a game like this, but they willingly put themselves there. I mean, Saw is the closest thing that you can get to this show, but those people did not choose to be there. These people actually went back there and chose to participate in the game after knowing they could be killed. This is such an addicting show, and if you haven't made up your mind to go watch it, you definitely should now.
Well, guys, thank you very much
You
for
will not
watching this
regret it.
video
It's actually really
reaction
good.
of
It does
Squid
have some
Game
very deep Hunger Games and
episode
Saw
2.
vibes. Anyways, thank you for
Guys,
watching.
guys, like, I must confess and say this thing. This is the type of game, like, I can tell you in a truthful way, and this type of game is still existing in this world. This type of game is existing in this world, all over the world. This type of game is existing, and nobody will know about it, and even the cops or some other things will be still. Guys, thank you very much for all your support. I appreciate it a lot, man, and try as much as possible to subscribe, like, and comment down below, guys. Thank you. No cap.